agency's next steps. Once Ms. Ziegler is finished, I will then open up this public hearing for comments. Ms. Ziegler?
Thank you, Mr. Caroline.
That's just for the camera, there is no PA system.
Okay.
I'll have to shout.
All right. The proposed project consists of the following: the acquisition of an interest in a portion of approximately 88.15 acre parcel of land located at 60 Coeymans Industrial Park Lane in the Coeymans Industrial Park in the town of Coeymans, Albany County, New York. This is referred to as the land.
Maybe you should stand up and talk. You're hard to hear.
Do we want to bring the tables forward?
Either that or she could
Because she
stand
needs the
and
mic
then
for
talk.
my camera. We'll bring it forward. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Sure. Okay. So, on the land, there's gonna be the construction of approximately 75,000 square foot building, which we call the facility. And then the acquisition, installation therein and thereon of related fixtures, machinery, equipment, and other tangible personal property, which we refer to as the equipment. So the land, facility, and equipment is all referred to as the project facility. So all this is going to be leased by the company, Coeymans Recycling, to AProjects USA LLC, which is gonna be the tenant, and to be operated by P&M Brick LLC, doing business as the Port of Coeymans, which is the operator. As an industrial logistics and material handling facility and other directly and indirectly related activities. The granting of certain financial assistance within the meaning of section 854, grant 14 of the Act, which is the General Municipal Law of the State of New York, which is our statutory law governing industrial development agencies. With respect to the foregoing, including potential exemptions from certain sales and use taxes, real property taxes, real estate transfer taxes, and mortgage recording taxes. This is called financial assistance. And then there's a lease with an obligation to purchase or sell the project facility to the company or such other person as may be designated by the company and agreed on by the agency. This public hearing is held by the agency to satisfy the requirements of the provisions of section 859-A-2 of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York, which we call the Act. The Chief Executive Officer of the agency caused notice of this public hearing to be mailed on June 12, 2026 to the Chief Executive Officers of Albany County, the Town of Coeymans, and the Ravina Coeymans Selkirk Central School District, which are collectively called the affected taxing jurisdictions. And then published on June 14th, the Times Union, a newspaper general circulation available to residents of the Town of Coeymans, Albany County, New York. In addition, the Chief Executive Officer of the agency caused notice of this public hearing to be posted on June 12, 2026 on the agency's website and also on a public bulletin board located at 15 Mountain Road in the Town of Coeymans, Albany County, New York. The Chief Executive Officer also caused this certified public hearing resolution to be mailed on June 12, 2026 to the affected taxing jurisdictions. So, it was published in the newspaper, it was posted on the website, on a public bulletin board, and it was mailed to the taxing jurisdictions. So, that's all statutory. As noted above, the company has requested financial assistance in the form of exemptions from sales and use taxes, real property tax exemptions, and mortgage recording tax with respect to the undertaking of the proposed project. The agency will consider the company's request at a subsequent meeting of the agency currently scheduled for August 5th, 2026 at 4 p.m. And at such meeting, the agency will also consider the comments received at this public hearing. Such meeting, like all meetings of the agency, open to the general public. We have made arrangements for staff to be present in order to accurately make a record of the public comments. This is also live streamed, so there's plenty of everything on record. Information regarding the legal authorization and powers of the agency and the legal requirements and procedures regarding this public hearing will be inserted in the stenographic record. When she's done with the record, it's put it on the agency's website so anybody can access it. The purpose of the public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to solicit public comment with respect to the APC's involvement with the proposed project. We are not here to answer questions, although in the course of the hearing, we will consider questions if we have the information to provide the answers. We are only taking comments. Further, questions or comments regarding environmental planning, zoning design, and related issues regarding the proposed project are outside the scope of this public hearing. Lastly, general comments regarding industrial development agencies are not relevant to this public hearing. As previously stated, okay, now unless there's any objection,
Repeat that, please. The
Repeat what?
last statement.
Could you speak up just a tad louder? It's hard to go back.
okay. Lastly, general comments regarding industrial development agencies are not relevant to this public hearing. Now, unless there's any objection, I'm going to suggest waiving the full reading of the notice of this public hearing, and instead request the full text of the notice of this public hearing being inserted into the record of the public hearing. The comments received today at this public hearing will be presented to the members of the agency at or prior to the meeting currently scheduled for August 5th, 2026. You all can go to the meeting, open to the public, it's on Washington Ave in Albany.
What's the address?
Repeat that,
11
please.
Washington Ave, 111 Washington Ave,
111?
yes. It's near the Commerce Plaza, if you're familiar with Albany.
What time?
4 o'clock. And that's also on the agency's website. You can go to the agency's website and most of this information that you're seeking. So at that meeting, they'll consider undertaking the proposed project and granting the financial assistance, which I've explained to you. Written comments can be addressed to Kevin O'Connor, Chief Executive Officer of the agency. And we'll keep the comment period open until 5 p.m. on Thursday, July 2nd. Any comments received by such time will be introduced to the record to be considered by the agency. I'll now return the floor to Mr. Catalano for the purpose of recognizing any representatives from the company and any citizens in attendance wishing to make a public comment.
Thank you, Ms. Ziegler. If any representative of the company is present at the public hearing, I will now introduce Nick Laraway of the company, who will describe the proposed project in further detail. Thank you. I suppose I can.
Nick Laraway with Harbor Companies. Thank you, Kevin. I'd like to thank the IDA for consideration of the project and share a little bit of information as it relates to the project and some questions we've been asked recently just to get it on the record. So first I would like to share 3 letters of support that we received from local businesses and tenants of the industrial park and have them added to the record.
So these will be, we will send those record on the agency's website.
Can you tell us who they're from?
They're from.
Composite Technologies, Inc., a tenant of the industrial park, Tracy Welding, a neighbor of the industrial park, and Fink Equipment, a neighbor here for the school. Again, thank you for consideration of the request that we've made regarding the project. We are proposing to build a 75,000 square foot pre-engineered metal building at the industrial park. The project itself was part of a site plan review that was approved in April of 2020, so it is a fully approved project, ready to go to building permit and be constructed should we proceed with this project with AProjects. Many, if not all of you, are familiar with Harbor Companies. I'll share a little bit about AProjects, and then I will let a representative of AProjects give you some more detail about their company. AProjects is a multinational specialty freight handling company originating out of Belgium and operating in the United States for a number of years. They incorporated their U.S. subsidiary in 2020, I believe, and have been a customer of Harbor Companies at a number of our ports. What AProjects does that is special is they handle very highly technical and expensive and sophisticated equipment for a number of the large companies within the region. I'm not at liberty to say who their customers are, but you can think about the people that make large turbines and stators locally that need help with logistics and moving them. Traditionally, those companies work with companies like AProjects and other freight forwarders to move their equipment. semiconductor industries and other projects that are being built in the region. So many times when a big project moves into the region, rather than them handling all of their logistics, they hire a company like AProjects to handle the movement of their manufacturing equipment into the region. So our strategic location at the Port of Coeymans has been a great thing for AProjects. Currently, AProjects is a tenant of the Carver companies at the Port and Industrial Park. They're in a number of our facilities, totaling about 100,000 square feet, and we are looking to grow the relationship with AProjects through the creation of this facility. This facility will be exclusively for their use should we proceed with the project and obtain the benefits that we are asking for. There have been questions about utilities. Our plan is to connect power to the building to facilitate the garage doors and the lights and the other security and safety apparatus, and to connect natural gas to the building for the heaters, but there are no water or sewer utilities planned as part of this project. For reference, here's a couple of pictures of things that we've done recently for AProjects, moving some cargo into the area. You're all welcome to come look at this when time permits. About, not to steal other people's thunder that are here to speak about the project, but in the last month, there have been about 50 unique truckloads into or out of the other facilities that AProjects is using, which averages about 2.5 loads per day and 100,000 square feet. We do not estimate that this is going to materially increase more than 2 or 3 truckloads per day. In addition, if we do proceed with this facility. I think that takes care of most everything. What they're doing now is what they're currently going to do in the future. They're not looking to do any new uses or any of the other things that have been shared locally online. So they move very advanced, very sophisticated, very expensive, heavy equipment, and that's what their entire business model is, and that's what they plan to do more of should we proceed with the project. Thank you again for your consideration. I'd like to introduce Olga from AProjects to share a little bit more about their business.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Coeymans. I represent AProjects here tonight and appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. Would like to add a couple of words to what Mr. Larrabee was already presenting. We are indeed a multinational, multi-year tenant of Carver companies here at the Port of Coeymans. As Mr. Larrabee already outlined, we represent do business for some of the large players in heavy lift industry. Maybe to bring the point home, we are massively excited for this new facility. Not only one, it's going to enable us to grow, but at the same point, we're going to be able to perform the services today that we do perform today in a more efficient, a faster, a quicker, and a safer way. And I think that's in everyone's interest, not only in ours, right? This building will enable us to handle the loads and then reduce truck waiting times, idling engines, and everything else that is probably one of your most heavy concerns about this building. If anything, I see this as a positive. The other benefits to you in the region are self-explanatory and here obviously listed, but the customer base that we represent, they're experts in manufacturing their goods and services. We enable them to be distributed globally in and around the world. That's why I wanted the team to look at this. Right? We are experts in this industry. We've been doing it for over 35 years globally, and are massively excited to finally bring this type of work here and expand upon it to the work that we're currently doing. So,
What is that?
international logistics. We are not the company that manufactures.
Warehousing,
Warehouse.
repair? Please
Ma'am,
explain.
ma'am, if you're
I
asking.
know
a
it's
question-
not
If you're asking a
allowed.
question, please stand up, say your name, and then ask
Okay.
your question.
Judith Felston, I live in Baltimore. It would really help if you would explain more graphically and fully what your company does.
I can. The big players in the area that we represent manufacture goods and services in the area for distribution international. What we do is we pick them up, we store them, we deliver them, move them via the warehouse and on global locations only. It's as simple
Which is?
Trucks, multiple.
Okay, for future reference, if you're asking a question, please stand up and state your
Yes,
name.
thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
Hudson, President of the Baltimore Coeymans.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. If there's a representative of any of the affected tax jurisdictions present at the hearing, please let.
Dominic Bruno, Hughes Fire District. So, Dominic Bruno, I'm a member of the Board of Fire Commissioners for Coeymans Fire District. I also live in Hammond, Coeymans. I am fully supportive of the project because the tax levy that will come helps reduce the cost of firefighting equipment and enhances the taxes in the town. One thing I do ask is that special services taxes not be part of the waiver, so.
They are not.
Based on, but I'm supportive of this. This could be another salt shed, it's not. And I'm assuming, and it's a broad assumption, but these are higher end paying jobs, not minimum wage jobs that are in this bill.
Are you with the taxing jurisdiction there?
Deborah Sutherland of the Town Board of New Baltimore.
Okay, I'm sorry, could you repeat your name?
Deborah Sutherland, S-O-T-T-O-L-A-N-O. What I'd like to say is I know that, Mr. Larry and Nick is well aware of the truck traffic issues that we've been facing in all of our towns. There is, the Advanced Albany Alliance is doing a traffic study. And, if this business is to move equipment, how is that gonna be 2 to 3 trucks a day? And what size trucks, what type of trucks are we talking about?
Ms. Satellano, I appreciate your
Can you
comments.
answer the
This is a public comment period, not Q&A.
It's a very big concern. It's only adding to a problem that we've been trying for years to resolve. I've been talking with Mr. Laraway, with Advanced Albany Alliance, with Albany County. 3 towns are trying to prevent this problem from continuing. And, now we're adding more before there's even a resolution to the problem we already have. So,
Thank you for your comments. Is there anybody else from the taxing jurisdiction here that would like to make a comment?
Yes,
Okay.
Steve Donnelly, Town Supervisor for Coeymans. I've had several concerns from residents
I'm
that.
sorry, sir, can you speak up a little bit? I'm just trying to.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I've had several resident concerns that came into my office, and the majority of them were afraid of truck traffic, but even before truck traffic, the concerns of Albany County's Industrial Development Agency and the Advanced Albany County Alliance had not coordinated with any of the towns affected by the truck traffic, which would be Bethlehem, Coeymans, and New Baltimore. So our issue with that is how are we going to better coordinate with these agencies in order to inform the residents. I don't know if these agencies would have contacted us earlier, we would have known, they would have known that half the town is at a graduation ceremony in Albany right now, and the other half of the town is either at the River Fest that we have, or our own public meeting, our town meeting that we're having right now, that I'm missing to be here in order to let the residents speak through me. The other issue besides the growing gap between communication and the growing of the truck traffic is the traffic study that Deb Satellano was talking about. We have no idea if there is a coordination. The Advanced Albany County Alliance is doing that traffic study, which Bowler Engineering, they design industrial parks for Amazon. So from the outside, it looks like it's not a traffic study at all, but how to make a port more efficient. So our concerns would be, as in the industry expands further and further and the towns are left out of the conversation, how do we fix that? How do we rectify that? The answers have not been forthcoming, so the concerns that I'm getting from the residents is how does the town get into the conversation? We appreciate the public hearing. We saw that June 3rd, the decision was made from the IDA. A letter came out on June 12th, as you said, it was posted. We got it, the town of Coeymans got a certified letter the 18th, right before the 3-day holiday. So we were able to post very quickly that this hearing was coming up in essentially 5 days later, if you take the weekend out of it. So the residents had a lot of concerns about not having advance notice, more advance notice. So if we could somehow have communications more quickly from the agencies, that would be great for the towns. And the towns are very concerned that the residents are going to keep bearing the brunt of the industrial expansion, because that has been the pattern for the past 10 years. So we're trying to fix that.
Thank you, Supervisor Downey. Are you a part of the taxing jurisdiction? We're still in the taxing jurisdiction part. There's no other representatives from the taxing jurisdiction?
Barbara Heinsohn, I live on the boundary of Coeymans and New Baltimore.
Are you part of the taxing, are you a member of the taxing jurisdiction, a board member, a town supervisor, a mayor?
An official, you mean?
Yes.
No, I'm not an official, I'm a resident.
Okay, we're still on the official
Okay.
part. Thank you, Ms. Heinsohn.
I would like to have a follow-up since we were talking about taxes. We also would like to see the numbers between the proposed pilot and what the property tax would be. If it's the same or less, we would like to know if the town's gonna make a decision on basically taking a haircut on the pilot if it's less than the property tax. Or the assessed value. Not a question, just a
Thank you,
concern.
Supervisor. Just so everybody is clear, if you go to the Advanced Albany County Alliance website and you search projects for public documents, the application, all the information that, including a piece of the pilot, the economic impact statement, are all publicly available for your reading and your viewing pleasure. Thank you. I will now open a public hearing for public comment at 6:24. Briefly, before we start, by way of operating rules, if you wish to make a public comment, which I believe you all are here to do that, please raise your hand. I will call on you. Please wait to be recognized. We can't have people talking over each other. Once recognized, please stand up, state your name and address for the record. Please speak loudly and clearly when you present those so that the stenographer can gather that information. We are going to ask, because of the crowd size, that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. I will be tracking the 3 minutes because we have a lot of people here tonight that all want to speak, so I would respectfully ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. If your comments mirror those of somebody else who has already spoken, which I think there'll be some of that as well, you may indicate that and then relinquish the podium to another speaker so that all views represented at this hearing may be heard tonight. When everybody has had the opportunity to speak, I will conclude the public hearing. We will be here until everybody has a chance. A record of this public hearing will be prepared and reviewed by the members of the agency in connection with the agency's decision of the proposed project. Again, the proposed project is to solicit public comment. We are not here to answer questions. I will now ask if there's anybody in attendance who wishes to comment on either the nature and location of the projected facility or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the agency with respect to the proposed project. Again, for the record, please state your name and indicate your comment on either the proposed project or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the agency with respect to the proposed project. Ms.
Thank
Heisen.
you. Barbara Heinsohn, resident of New Baltimore and property in Coeymans. I have a number of comments, but looking at the 88 acres that are proposed for this site, how much of that 88 acres does this building cover, and how would the other 88 acres be used? So that's one question. And related to that land use question, why is it being built so close to the Coeymans Creek, which is a protected creek, and goes straight into the Hudson River? This strikes me as environmentally inappropriate. When it comes to the question of finance, I assume that any company, international, multinational company, and I've worked for a number of them, if it's lasted for 35 years, it has a pretty good financial record. Carver Companies has done nothing but expand, and during their open day, we saw evidence of an extremely prosperous, successful company. Why are these companies asking us to subsidize their business when we are a poor town with relatively few high-paying residents? That is an outrage. I see no reason for us to subsidize your successful businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Next. Does anybody else have a public comment tonight?
Judith Felston in Baltimore. I'm finding it very odd, though it may be procedurally normal for you, that there is no question period. Thank you.
Did you want to? Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry.
It's for the camera.
For the speak loud, maybe I'm gonna.
So, Karen Wins, with 6 McCullough, Ravina resident, and, I just did a little research with, Claude, because we love Claude, and, ran the company through Claude, just asked a couple of quick questions about what you guys did. Got some good feedback, and I think it's a positive thing economically for our little town. Yes, we're concerned with truck traffic, but it is gonna bring some jobs, which is good. We are gonna do a seeker, I'm sure there's gonna be a seeker done, right? That's a question. So we will learn the environmental impact. But right, just looking, we're gonna have probably another 35 to 75 jobs in the warehouse. They won't be extremely high paying, but they will bring some more income into our community, which is what we need. Which will increase our housing demand, which is good. So we're gonna have to probably build some more houses. That's good, right? The concern I had is on the tax structure of the pilot program, mirroring the conversations of my previous other residents. You're coming in, you should pay taxes just like we do. That's really the biggest concern I have. Just, give us the money back. We all pay our taxes. It's a heavy burden right now, and we'd like to spread that wealth, that love out a little bit. So that's my general comment is, help us with the taxes. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be positive, but just help us with the taxes.
Thank you for your comments. Does anybody else have a comment?
Is this for a certain topic, or? Eileen Gosford, I'm not, a little confused about
And where are you?
the Hamlet of New Baltimore. So, are we doing comments on a specific, part of this, or all comments now?
Whatever you prefer.
Okay, so first of all, I can see that it says there's, about 34 jobs, not up to 70. And then it says, an additional $254,000 in local revenue. That's nothing. I mean, really? $254,000? That's what is gonna come back into the town besides 34 jobs. I'm not dancing at all. And what will the pilot be? I assume it will be a pilot. Pilots are not good for our communities, for the school, for the towns. the towns get like Zippo, and the school gets a lot more money. And so, I'm not really liking this, and I gotta tell you, I am really, shocked that you're not giving us any, hard copy of this. You just told me, well, we read it on the website. Well, if we only knew about it from, June 18th is what, Mr. Donnelly said, when were we supposed to find out and do our research on it? I mean, that's absolutely wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Foster.
Hi, my name is Mark Peckham. I'm a Baltimore resident, and I point out we're also RCS taxpayers. And I too am opposed to a pilot agreement for a profitable company. Our community needs tax dollars to thrive, and it's not fair for one of the most profitable companies in the region to take more from the taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Are there any,
My name's Elizabeth Dubois. I'm also a taxpayer and a member of the New Baltimore community. So my questions, again, kind of similar to everything that's being said, and my comments are about the tax base, and we all pay our taxes and are members of this community. We want to see it thrive. Again, I'm not against the project. I don't know enough about it to really say that. But the big thing is online. I looked at it just now because I just knew that it was posted online when you said it. It says 18 jobs are gonna be created. So that's very different than what's posted there and what's being said. So obviously some more clear information on exactly how many jobs are gonna be created. If it's only 18, what is the benefit to the community? And yeah, again, everything else that people said are my concerns as well.
thank you, Mr. Moore.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jessie. I am the logistics manager for the Port of Coeymans. I'm here to represent the company that I work for. I'm here tonight not only as an employee, but as someone whose career and livelihood has been directly impacted by the growth and investment that has taken place in Port of Coeymans and the Coeymans Industrial Park. I started with cargo companies in 2019 as an administrative assistant in port operations. At the time, I knew very little about the maritime and logistics industries, just like many people here. Through training, mentorship, and opportunity provided by cargo companies, I learned about maritime operations, supply chains, logistics, and project cargo. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when global supply chains were disrupted by container shortages, it was Port of Coeymans that helped critical infrastructure projects move forward by assisting with offloading the containerized cargo. Being involved in those operations gave me the opportunity to expand my knowledge and develop valuable skills in logistics and transportation. As business grew, so did my responsibilities. I then became the logistics coordinator, managing multiple layers of logistics daily. Today, I serve as the logistics manager, overseeing the logistic needs of the tenants at the Coeymans Industrial Park, particularly AProjects. My story, though, is not unique at cargo companies. The company believes in promoting from within and investing in its employees. I am standing here as proof that growth at the port creates opportunities for local residents to build meaningful careers and support their families right here in our community. What started as a small logistic function has grown into a dedicated team of full-time employees. The growth occurred because customers chose to expand their operations right here in Coeymans, creating additional opportunities for local workers. In the past month, we have handled roughly 50 truck movements related to AProjects existing operations. The proposed warehouse is expected to generate only 2 to 3 additional trucks per day, with most trucks utilizing the New York State Thruway because it is not local cargo. The warehouse being proposed tonight represents far more than additional storage space. It represents opportunity, it represents job creation. Once built and fully functional, we will be employing over a dozen additional employees supporting AProjects. As someone who works directly with AProjects and our tenants every day, I see firsthand the need for additional operational space. This warehouse will allow larger projects to be completed here in Coeymans, creating additional employment and additional opportunities and supporting future growth. The economic impact extends beyond our four gates. More employees means more customers for local restaurants, gas stations, and convenience stores and small businesses. Workers will eat lunch locally, buy fuel locally, and spend money in the community where they work. The additional economic activity supports business throughout Coeymans and the surrounding area. My own career is an example of what the growth can look like. I started as an administrative assistant and advanced to logistics manager because the business expanded and created new opportunities. As projects grow, employees grow with them at carbon companies. New positions are created, employees are promoted, and local residents are given the opportunity to build long-term careers without leaving the area. Projects like this bring attention to our town. They demonstrate that Coeymans is a place where business can invest, grow, and create jobs. Every successful project strengthens our reputation to help put Coeymans on the map as a hub for industry, logistics, and economic development. I respectfully ask the Albany County IDA to support this project and the opportunities it will create for our workforce, our local businesses, and the future of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you live in the town?
I work.
Do you live in the town though?
I reside, yes, not in this town, but I live in a local area.
Thank you.
Not in Urbana.
Very
Local, in a
good.
local area.
Do you shop here?
And did you shop?
Yes, I do actually. I buy lunch and, went every day here. Johnny.
Ma'am, I can't hear you. Can you come closer?
Speak up.
It's for the camera. Thank you.
My name is Kathleen Helmer Sal. I live at 6 Fox Street in Selkirk. I happen to be on the corner of Fox Street and River Road. So those 50 trucks go by every single day. And whatever else comes in and out of the park, going to the thruway or to Albany, where I can stand in my driveway and not be able to hear someone next to me. So 1 or 2 more trucks, that will make a difference. So I'm glad for your advancement, and I'm glad that the businesses are doing well, but you have to know that it's on the backs of many of the citizens here in the community. And I can't tell you how many meetings I've been to where people, who want to bring something into the community say, it's so good for you that you eat at the restaurant, they're gonna get your gas. Have you driven down Main Street?
Yeah.
Have you seen any improvement in the last, we've been here 40 years, and it looks worse than it did when we moved here. So I don't think that really makes a big difference. I mean, some people have great jobs, I'm happy with that. I'm not sure that every person who will be employed will be a member of our community. But I think that you have to take into consideration that these changes, these growths, these folks who come in, who want to do this kind of things, have no consideration for the citizens. They're basically here to make money.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nancy Warner. I'm here as a resident in the village of Urbana on Main Street.
Talk to everybody else.
I just have a couple concerns that have come up. First one being when the public hearing was opened and we all were told this was not going to be questions and answers. The looks on everyone's faces here pretty much said how we felt. It's like, really? It's a public hearing. We would have liked to have asked questions and gotten some answers. That's number one. Number two, I'm not against growth. I know we can't do away with trucks. It's part of life. I do live on Main Street. This project may only bring anticipated 2 or 3 trucks a day. What about the next project, and the next project, and the next project? Each one is going to be adding more truck traffic to our community. We have to keep that in mind. This might be great for now. The tax base. I agree with what everyone said. The town of Coeymans and the village of Urbina, which pays town taxes, we can't afford to give big money-making companies tax breaks. You wanna come here and participate in our community and claim that this is good for us, then put your money where your mouth is and give us your proper due taxes.
So there was an interesting comment about where you live, and congratulations on your journey and being, promotions and stuff. What I found is when I did meet a couple of times with the cement factory, and we had that open forum at one time, and I kind of wonder in the back of my head, so you're gonna bring in Claude at the wrong number, 13 jobs. Where are they gonna live? Where do the people who are the management gonna live? Are they gonna live in the town of Urbina, or are they gonna go to Delmar? They may shop here and they eat here, but how come you don't wanna live here? That's my biggest question. We love it here, it's our home, we've been here 10 years. So I would like to say, if you wanna come in, great, but live here, walk here, drive here, walk your dogs here, go to the dog park, go to the pool, live in our community. We welcome you, come on in, but live with us. And then maybe, just maybe, you might change your mind about those trucks. Just maybe, but we welcome you, come on in, but come live with us. Come break meals with us. Come sit down at the table. Come join our community. Come sit on our community board. And make a difference. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Abdel Beldingwala, and I pretty much check all the boxes you listed. I'm the general manager of Port of Coeymans. I've been living in the village of Urbina for the last 13 years. I bought my first house in the village of Urbina right on Eastview Drive. I bought my second property in the village right next door to my house. And I bought a condemned asbestos-infested house on Stone Hill Road, which I could soon, once this project hopefully gets approved and I make a little bit more money for myself, I can pay for the demo and the asbestos testing and all of that, and hopefully make it a beautiful forever home. Not to go on a long story, but I took it personally when the correction was made that we didn't create 75 jobs, it was just 34, and then the correction was not 34, just 18, and then the correction was only $254,000 in revenue. Well, it's still better than zero. It's still more than 0 jobs created, it's still more than $0 earned for the tax purposes. So, please, it's industrial project on industrial land in an industrial park. So let's keep the focus on that, keep things fair. There are fair industrial standards this project should be judged by, not by emotions, not by comments on Facebook, and not by putting words in somebody else's mouth. Please, it's just fair judgment towards it is what we respect and what we expect from it. Thank you.
We've had a lot of comments tonight. Is there anybody else?
I'll say one more thing. So again, as one of the youngest people in this
State your
room.
name again for the stenographer, please.
Elizabeth Dubois of New Baltimore. So as one of the youngest people in this room, again, I am all for economic development, to see this grow and to see the the port and Coeymans, New Baltimore grow. But with that, we need to keep the people in the community. So if we can guarantee that the money is gonna stay here and if the jobs are gonna be for our residents and our taxpayers, not outsourced to people that sadly have the certification or the qualifications outside this area. So will there be a pipeline for the school district that is served? So will students be able to get jobs and maybe that are graduated go right into the workforce? How will they provide this training to locals that want to have these high paying jobs? Because I don't know if any of you graduated from RCS, but the graduation rate is extremely low here. So what are you gonna do to give back to this community and to the school district that's not just an economic number, but we actually want to see it as taxpayers?
It was very hard for me because I didn't know about this meeting.
You got this.
Last minute. Oh, Donna Grad, MC, GRATH. I live in Coeymans. I didn't get a chance to prepare because we really didn't know about this meeting very far ahead and I've been away, but I don't understand why they're getting a tax break if they're wrecking our roads and making things very dangerous for the kids getting off the bus. I won't even go into town anymore during time because otherwise I'm having heart failure because I see a kid almost get hit every day that I'm there. And it's scary by these big trucks that are rolling through and going through the traffic lights. And they're not even, they go through the stop sign on 144, they don't stop. And I had one driver get out and start screaming at me and yelling at me in my window that he could do whatever the F he wanted to because he worked for Carter.
Oh.
Yeah, I was coming up from town. So from town at the light, and he stopped his truck, he went right at the last minute, stopped his truck, went around me and got a cup of blood. And I said, are you all right? And he said, yeah, and he put up my window and drove away. But that was quite a while ago. But I just don't understand why they get a tax break when they're wrecking our roads. I don't get it. And I would like to see some proof of that, 2 to 3 trucks per day, because this doesn't seem realistic, and I'd like to see other facilities like this. Is that what those towns are seeing? 2 to 3 trucks per day? And how big are they? I wonder, what kind of trucks and what are they, like other people brought up, what are they carrying, how heavy are they? 144 is absolutely dangerous to drive on. We don't need 2 or 3 more, and I don't believe, I'm sorry for what's happened in the past, I don't believe, we have found that all these numbers are getting different things, so if there's, you say, so what, it's better than nothing. No, I wanna know what the numbers are, because I don't wanna be fooled or lied to. So that's my comment. I think we need more facts. I think we need accountability. If they go over 2 or 3 trucks, I think we need their money. This town definitely needs the money.
Thank you. We've heard from a lot of you this evening. Does anybody else want to speak?
Hi, Diana Abedy, and thank you for having this meeting tonight. I just wanted to point out to 2 to 3 trucks is really 4 to 6 trips. So it's back and forth. It's not just the 2 to 3. I don't think that's an enormous amount, but what I have seen in reading DEC applications for projects, particularly for recycling and transfer stations, is I sometimes see that original application only includes a small amount of acreage, say 33 acres. And then the rest of the 80 acres that we're talking about are, the DEC says, well, what are you gonna do with the rest of the acreage? So I just wanna say that I think it's important for citizens to, keep their eyes and ears open here. And thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.
Ma'am, where are you from?
I'm from Athens. I'm a citizen scientist. Now, retired scientist.
Okay, well, after ascertaining that there's no one else present who wishes to comment, and ascertaining that at least 15 minutes has passed since the scheduled time of the hearing began, If there are no further comments, we will stay as long as you'd like if you have comments, but if there are no further comments, I will now close the public hearing. At 7:51 PM. Oh, 6:51 PM. Thank you all for attending.